I still remember that flight like it happened yesterday, sitting there in first class on this red-eye from Chicago to London, feeling the stares before we'd even taken off, folks in their fancy suits and sparkling jewelry whispering just loud enough to make sure I heard, wondering how someone like me, in my faded hoodie and beat-up jeans, ended up in their precious little club. It wasn't the first time I'd been sized up and written off, but man, that night it stung a little extra because I was already carrying this weight from my last mission, the kind that leaves you questioning if blending in is worth the hassle if you should just own who you are from the jump. Anyway, there I was, Emily, flipping through this dog-eared thriller novel, trying to tune out the chatter, when this lady across the aisle, all draped in cashmere and pearl slits, call her Victoria, leans over to her hubby and says, not even trying to hide it, "Darling, did they start letting hitchhikers upgrade?" She looks like she wandered in from Coach by mistake, and he chuckles, adjusting his Rolex like it's some badge of superiority, his eyes raking over my sneakers with this smug little smirk. The cabin was buzzing with that kind of vibe. These high rollers who'd built their egos on boardrooms and bank accounts. And here I am. No makeup, hair in a messy bun, just me and my book, because after years in the shadows with Delta Force, I'd learned that flash doesn't mean strength. It's the quiet ones who get things done. But they didn't see that I saw a nobody, someone who didn't fit their polished world, and it fueled this petty fire in them. Maybe because deep down, folks like that are insecure about their own facades cracking. The flight attendant, a sharp-dressed guy named Marcus, glides by with his tray of hot towels, hands one to the guy in the velvet blazer next to me with this warm, "Anything else, sir?" Then his eyes slide to me, and poof, the smile vanishes. He mutters to the blazer guy, just audible, "Some folks must have slipped through the cracks from economy." And the laughter ripples out, low and mean, like they're bonding over putting me in my place. I feel my fingers tighten on the page, not out of hurt, really, but that old instinct kicking in, the one that says, keep steady, assess, don't react, because reacting would have blown my cover, and I'd spent too long perfecting the art of invisibility to let some snobs rattle me. It went on like that for a bit, the air getting thicker with their jabs. Some middle-aged exec in a tailored suit, Richard, I think his name was, leaning back and saying to his seatmate, loud enough for the row, "Bet she's on some pity upgrade. First time in first class, look at those shoes, probably never flown international." And his buddy snickers, glancing my way like I'm Exhibit A in their little comedy show. Then there's this young hotshot, Alex, mid-20s, scrolling his phone in a crisp polo, muttering to his friend, "She's reading like this is a library bus, maybe she's the cleaning crew moonlighting." And they high-five subtly, their egos inflating with every dig, driven by that classic mix of class resentment and boredom, I suppose, the kind where people punch down to feel tall. I didn't bite, didn't even look up, just turned the page, breathing even, because my parents had drilled it into me growing up in that modest Midwest home. Real power doesn't shout. It waits, and waiting had saved my life more times than I could count in ops, where one wrong twitch meant game over. But inside, yeah, it simmered, this quiet frustration at how quick folks are to judge based on the wrapper, never guessing the steel underneath, especially after I'd walked away from the force scarred but stronger, vowing to live simple, no spotlights. The plane levels out over the ocean, lights dimming for the hull, and I'm thinking maybe it'll quiet down, then bam. Turbulence hits, sharp and ugly, glasses clinking, a tray crashing, and suddenly, four guys jump up from scattered seats, yanking pistols from their bags, one barking in a thick accent. "This is our plane, now everyone down, or we start shooting." Chaos explodes, screams echoing. The cashmere lady Victoria drops her wine glass, staining her dress as she ducks, whimpering to her husband, "Do something, Harold," but he just freezes, pale as a ghost, clutching his armrest like it's a lifeline. Folks are dropping to their knees, sobbing, praying. The mom with her teenage son across the aisle hisses at me, "Get down, you fully gonna get us all noticed." Her voice cracking with terror, pulling her kid closer, the boy staring wide-eyed, phone trembling in his hand. But me? I stay put, book still open, eyes flicking to the gunman, assessing numbers, positions, nerves, because this wasn't my first rodeo, and panicking never helped anyone. The lead hijacker, a burly guy with a jagged scar and a buzz cut, storms my way, gun waving. "You down now?" and the cabin goes dead quiet, tension like a wire about to snap. An older passenger, crouched nearby in his golf tan and gold chain, points a shaky finger at me. "You're pissing them off, just listen, for God's sake." His wife nodding frantically, whispering, "She's nobody, why risk it?" As if my plain clothes made me disposable. The scar-faced guy grins cruelly, pressing the barrel to my temple. "Think you're tough, huh? Special?" His voice mocking, sweat beading on his forehead, betraying his own jitters, probably fueled by some twisted ideology or grudge against the West that made him think hijacking innocence proved a point. Passengers hold their breath, some averting eyes, others staring like it's a horror flick unfolding. The exec Richard yells from his spot, "Tie her up, she's gonna get us killed." His fear twisting into rage, and a woman with a toddler sobs, "Please, stop provoking dummy babies here." Her plea raw, desperate. I don't flinch, just tilt my head slightly, murmuring low, "Your shaking nerves getting to you?" And his grin falters, hand tightening up in the cockpit. The pilot peeks out, catches my subtle hand signals, the old Delta codes from joint trainings, his co-pilot whispering, "That Special Forces stuff, is she one of them?" They lock the door tighter, a flicker of hope sparking. The flight attendant Marcus, huddled by the galley, stares at me now with wide eyes, muttering to his colleague, "She's not scared how?" As my calmness starts to unsettle the room, passengers whispering, "She's insane, gonna doom us all." Their doubt clashing with this tiny seed of awe in a few, like the teenage boy sketching quietly in his notebook, his sister glancing over. "She's not even blinking crazy or brave." The moment stretches, gun cold against my skin, then I move, fast as instinct, twisting his wrist with a crack, elbow to his jaw, and he drops like a sack. Gasps rip through the cabin. The toddler's mom screams, clutching her kid. Alex stammers, "Who the hell is she?" The other hijackers whirl, guns up, but hesitating, eyes wide. One yells, "You can't take us all," waving wildly, his bravado cracking under the pressure of their botched plan, maybe driven by desperation from some failed cause back home. Passengers murmur, skeptical, "One lucky shot doesn't mean squash, just showing off." Victoria hisses to Harold, who nods, making it worse. I stand, grabbing the fallen gun, voice steady. "I warned you." The words landing heavy, and the cabin splits, fear versus flickering belief, like the little girl peeking from her mom's seat, whispering, "Is she a hero?" Her mom shushing, "No, sweetie, she's just ordinary." But the kid's eyes light up, clutching her toy. Quietly, I slip off my left sneaker, the scuffed one they'd mocked, pulling a hidden beacon from the sole, pressing it, light flipping green. Outside, F-35 jets roar into view, radio crackling in the cockpit. Shadow 7. "We have your signal, standing by." Heads turn, mouths drop. Alex blurts, "She's Shadow 7? The hijackers pale, guns dipping. The golf tan guy stares, then scribbles on his boarding pass, hands shaky. One hijacker snarls, "This changes nothing, our group's bigger than you." But his voice wavers, eyes on the jets. Doubt thickens. A young woman by the window clutches her locket, photo of her dad in uniform, whispering, "Like him strong." The captain's voice booms over intercom, "Stay calm, we're in control." And I key the radio, cold, code red, execute. Cargo door bursts. Special ops in black gear swarm, zip tying the rest in seconds flat. Cabin erupts in cries, stunned silence. The pilot steps out, nodding to me. "Thanks, Commander Shadow 7. Shock waves hit. Victoria's purse drops. Alex's phone slips. Richard slumps, face flushed. I hand off the gun, grab my bag, no words needed, truth hanging heavy. A soldier nods salute style as he passes, warrior to warrior. Plane lands amid flashing lights. Reporters swarming, headlines blast. Unassuming woman turns hero on hijacked flight. Passengers scatter, change. Victoria, back home, scrolls her phone, freezes at a viral clip of her sneering at me, comments ripping her apart. Entitled "Snob mocks a legend." Her sponsorships vanishing, gold feeling like lead now. Her snobbery rooted in a lifetime of privilege blinding her to real grit. Alex gets the call. Fired, can't keep someone who mocked a Delta op on tape. His cocky world crumbling, realizing his jabs came from his own fragile ego. Richard's firm emails, relieved of duties. Your outburst went viral. Years of climbing undone by fear-fueled cruelty. The mom with the toddler holds her kid tight, guilt gnawing. She saved us, whispering a lesson in trust. The teenage boy posts his sketch online, viral tribute, saying to his sis, "I saw it first, that awe shifting him forever." Me? I slip away, no interviews, heading to the next gig, bag over shoulder, steps sure, meeting my husband at the gate, his quiet presence parting the crowd like always. The world tried breaking me with judgments, but I stood not flashy, just real, and for anyone who's been dismissed, it's a reminder, your strength's yours, no permission needed. But here's the thing that still bugs me: is their mockery just ignorance? Or does it say something deeper about how we all size each other up too quick? What do you think? Fair game in a tough world, or time we cut the crap? Drop a comment below, share your take on judgment, justice, or those community clashes that hit close to home. Hit like if this got you thinking, subscribe for more real stories, and let's chat about it.